Hi everyone, welcome back to my next video. Well, we're going to continue our series on how to cook in your van. So I'm actually going to cook a meal in here so that you can see how easily this is done. Now I designed my van around a cooking center here in front of the doors, so that I can have the doors open and cook, and all the splatter and the moisture and everything is going outside, and I like that. But in the winter, I will cook inside with the doors closed up tight, and I've done it 1,000 times. And I do mean literally, I have done it thousands of times. I have, if I cook, I bet I've cooked at least a meal a day for the year. So let's say 300 meals in a year. Sometimes I don't. That's 300 meals a year, and I did it for the first 5 or 6 or 7 years. That's thousands and thousands of meals I have cooked inside a van. I don't have any qualms, I don't have any hesitations. The length of time that this is going to be running, the stove will be running, carbon monoxide isn't even the slightest hint of a problem. It's a propane stove, so I cook on a propane stove, and if you look here, you can see the arm is hooked up to a bottle, and the bottle is here under the unit. I built the unit so that it holds the bottle underneath it. I have a 2.5 gallon bottle, not the full-size bottle. So I'm just going to really quick show you well, not really quick. I'm going to fry you some hamburgers, just as an example of a meal you can cook in your van, and the versatility of the meal. So you need you need your stove, your frying pan. You need a way to light your stove, so I like these and I use those. I like these. They're ceramic. This is actually, they claim to be copper. They're not. There's no copper in it. They're just copper colored. But I do like the ceramic because it's not Teflon, doesn't have the health issues of Teflon, and yet it is as sticky as Teflon. I really am pleased with these pans. So that's what I'm going to cook on. And I'm going to make hamburgers because I like hamburgers. I understand the ethical issues around eating meat and animals. I buy 100% grass-fed meat. And my thinking is, I don't mind eating an animal. Humans have been eating animals for 2 million years. Well, humans and pre-humans. I object to torturing an animal every second of its life and then slaughtering it and eating it. That isn't the way humans have ever lived. That's a completely new thing. And yet I've spent enough time in the national forests to know that I've seen thousands and thousands of cattle running free in the national forests and on the high plains. And those cattle have a good life. They have as good a life as any cattle has ever had. In fact, probably better. They're protected from predators. They're put in places where there's water. I don't mind eating an animal that has been raised humanely and ethically. I doubt that the last week or month of this animal's life was good or pleasant. The last moments certainly were not. But its life overall was a good life. It was not tortured every minute of its life. That's just my personal opinion. Your opinion is up to you. I'm not telling you what's right or wrong. I'm just telling you what I think and what I do. Okay, so we'll just open this up. Got to have scissors to get through these things. I really like these containers because they last months. Well, they don't last months. They last a long time. I have had this in my fridge for at least 2 weeks, and I buy them in this packaging because they will last this long. They don't have any air. The air is out. And the air is what makes meat go bad. So this packaging keeps them from going bad. A lot of this is just, you've cooked, probably most of you have cooked meat and you've seen meat cooked, and so it's just going to be boring. We'll just buzz through the majority of this. I like to flatten them out. I like big flat burgers instead of small thick burgers. Just preference. Whatever you like, you like. No right or wrong way to do any of this. Not passing judgment on you, telling you what I like. We can like different things, can't we? Okay, I think that's good. So, got hamburgers ready to cook. That's one of the reasons I like these square pans. Is man, look how nicely those things fit in there. See, they just really fit right in there. I like that. Now the big thing is now I got blood all over this, and this is really unhealthy. You've got to get these things all really good and clean or you're gonna have you're gonna be sick. I keep alcohol gel that I will use on my hands. I don't want to be sick, and handling raw meat and blood from raw meat will make you sick real quick. And I don't want to be sick, so I have a spray bottle here, and I'll spray some. Key thing to getting things clean is a spray bottle. I'll wipe down some more. Just get the bulk of the germs off. I'm not going to get them all off with water and a paper towel, but I'm not trying to. I'm trying to get the bulk of it off. The alcohol gel right in it. I'm going to work it all in and all around. I don't want to get sick. And the alcohol gel, I think, will prevent it. I'm going to work it around in there. Let gravity pull it in. I know, Bob, I know how to clean dishes, but you know, a little extra awareness of germs and cleanliness around blood and meat is a good thing, I think. I don't know how well you're going to see that in broad daylight, but it's on. And I'm just going to put it on there. You know, oddly, a lot of people think it's a really big deal to cook a meal in a van. How can you possibly cook in a van? Won't you die? No, you won't die. It's just you cook a meal. Dust is an inevitable part of my life. Everywhere I go, I'm in the woods. I'm in dust and sand, and you wipe everything. I store everything to try and keep the dust off, but I'm not going to succeed. So I'm going to wipe some of the dust off my pan. I'm going to keep the lid on it with slightly ajar. Now normally, if it was wintertime, I would want to store the heat. I wouldn't want to let the heat out. It's fall, so I don't mind losing all the heat. If you saw my keep using a stove to keep warm, you've seen this before. This is Splatter Guard. It costs like $7 off Amazon. I'll put a link down below. And if I were concerned about splatter, I would just set that right there. Now normally I'd have both both doors closed. If it were winter time, I wanted the heat, I wouldn't hesitate to cook inside with the doors closed. I've cooked thousands of meals that way. I have no fear. So I've fried it on one side. I like my meat really well done. This is just a personal preference. So, but I've fried it one side pretty well. Now I'm just going to flip them. I mean, again, you all know how to fry hamburgers. I'm not trying to teach you how to fry hamburgers. But I'm just showing you how easily it can be done in a van. I like to do foods that are versatile and can make me a lot of meals. Different kinds of variety of meals. So, and hamburger is one of the most, has the most variety of all meals you can make. So what I would often do is I'd buy the 1 pound, make one patty out of it, eat that as a sandwich that night, and you know, hamburgers, traditional hamburger patty. Maybe I would take the rest of them and buy a package of mashed potatoes, either instant or you know, just already made mashed potatoes. Some of those are really good. And I would have it as a Salisbury steak meal with a hamburger patty and a can of corn and mashed potatoes. That's a great meal. Or maybe I would have one of each of those, and the other two I would crumble up. I'd cook crumbled up, and I would make tacos. I might have hard taco shells I keep on hand, and lettuce and tomato and an onion, and I would have tacos. And so I'd put the lettuce, tomato, and onion on the hamburger, and then I would put that on the tacos, shred it, put it on the tacos. And another thing I might have was maybe I would buy a pound of hamburger and make one patty out of it and eat it as a hamburger. And the other 3/4 I would crumble up and fry and make spaghetti. Or maybe I would make sloppy joes out of it. I would have maybe I'd make 2 hamburgers and make sloppy joes out of the rest. So I'm not getting tired of the same things. I mean, this hamburger is really versatile. Or you can make macaroni and cheese and put hamburger in it. It's amazing the number of meals you can get out of a pound of hamburger. And I've also then bought lettuce and tomatoes, and if I have bacon, and I almost always buy the already cooked bacon, and I'll microwave it a little bit more to get it a little crisper, because I like it a little crisper. And then I can make BLTs. So now I have lettuce and bacon and onion, and I use the onion. Maybe I sauteed the onion in the hamburger. and give it just a little more flavor. But I can have salads because I bought a bag of lettuce or spinach. I like spinach; it's healthier. I like romaine; it's healthier. I think they both taste better. And so maybe I'll have salads for lunch and BLT. So out of this one meal, if I make a hamburger sandwich, I have gotten lunches and dinners of a wide variety. If I had a freezer, what I would do is I'd buy a 3-pound package and fry it all up. Maybe make 2 or 3 hamburger patties for hamburgers and the rest as, and I'd freeze it all in individual quart Ziplocs. And I'd pull out a Ziploc, and then I could just real quickly make up spaghetti or sloppy joes, or put it in a mac and cheese or a stroganoff. So it's just really, really versatile. I don't have a freezer. I just have the fridge, so I don't do that. But you could if you had both. And so I try to look at one meal and how can I make many different meals that taste radically different out of that one meal. And it's pretty easy to do with the ingredients to make just the traditional hamburger. Okay, I think they're done enough. I like them really well done, but this is done enough. So I'll throw this off. I'm going to turn the heat off right now. So the heat's off. And I'm going to go through the cleanup because that's one of the big issues with the van, isn't it? It's how do you clean this mess up? I'm just going to use my regular old bread. I don't need special buns to eat hamburger, and I'd rather eat same thing. I try to eat a little healthier when I can, and so I have 100% whole wheat buns. I think that's healthier, and I'm going to live a little longer because of it. This is going to be really hot still because I'm not letting it cool down, but I'm just going to spray it with water. This is just water. That's not much water. I'm not even going to use, I probably won't even use a couple of quarts, a couple of cups of water to clean this with. It's going to still be really hot. I do waste a fair amount of paper towel doing this. So this is what's left over, and I'm just going to, still going to be real hot. I got to be careful I don't burn myself. So I'm just going to kind of grab it all. You know, I got it not terribly dirty left now. The pan's still hot. I'll spray it some more. One of the big advantages to have it comes off easy. It doesn't stick. I know you know how to cook dishes, but how to wash dishes. But I'm going to show you how you're washing your dishes with really minimal effort and water. Sure, I could boil a quart of water and pour hot water in here and then put soap in. But you know, I'm most of the way clean. Now it's not clean, but I mean it's not a huge mess anymore, is it? And I've used 3 half of a paper towel because these are the selected size, and not even half a cup of water. Well, we got to be working on the spatula because that's actually going to be one of the harder things. So it's mostly clean now. What a lot of people will do, will give it a final spray with vinegar, and vinegar works really well. I know people who use, and I've used vinegar for years, and I think it works really well. And I know people who will use hydrogen peroxide. They will have a bottle of hydrogen peroxide, and I know people who have used both. They will spray it with hydrogen peroxide and then spray it with vinegar and then wipe all that out. And I believe I've actually read a scientific study that said that hydrogen peroxide and vinegar together are very potent antibacterial. And so there's not just, it's not an old wives' tale, that's actually good science. I also know someone who buys vodka, the cheapest vodka they can buy, and keeps a spray bottle just like this with vodka. They don't drink. And then their last rinse will be with vodka. They will literally, just like I'm doing it with water, you know, if this were vodka or vinegar, and they'd let it set because it needs to set a little bit to kill all the last of its germs. If you've sprayed this with vodka, there's nothing left in there. There's nothing alive in there that's going to hurt you. But I'm not even going to do either of those. I'm done. I'm going to give this one last wipe, and I'm just saying I'm done. And I've been doing this for 16 years. We are crazy insane in our emphasis on cleanliness. Now you have to be a certain level of cleanliness, and you've seen you're dealing with blood and raw animal. You've got to be hyper clean. But the number of showers we take and the number of times we wash our hands every day, it's not healthy. It's unhealthy. And there's a lot of science that backs up the idea that if you take too much of germs out of your life, you are making yourself sicker. You need a certain level of germs on your skin, in your gut, in your life. I'm done. See, this took me like, I don't know, five half of paper towels. I'm sure I used less than a cup of water. It took me a few minutes, and I'm done. So there you have it. You can cook a meal, and I wouldn't hesitate. The doors have to be open for you to be able to see this and shoot the video. I wouldn't hesitate for 1 second to have the whole van closed up and cook this meal, and just exactly this way. Now I got 4 hamburgers. I got meals for the next 4 nights, or I can feed friends. So there you go. Anything you want to cook that you can cook at home on a burner, you can cook in your van, no problem, year round. So thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you got something out of it. If you did, like us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and give us a big thumbs up, and we'll talk to you later.